Hey beauties, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, I am Mocha Jules, and if you haven't yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And if you're one of my returning babes, hey beautiful. So today's video, we're going to be creating this look, this orange eyeshadow, this beautiful flawless makeup look. Everything will be listed down below in the description box, and if you want to see how I create this look today, go ahead and stay tuned, and I hope to see you at the end of this video. All right beauties, so we already did our brows to get this look going. So now we're gonna start with our eyes first. As you all know, I'm an eyes girly. So the palette that we'll be using today is the Juvia's Place, the Saharan Juvia, because we're doing an orange look, and I don't have like an orange eyeshadow look on my channel, so I'm like, let me do an orange look, why not? It doesn't hurt, right? So I went through all my palettes to see which one had like the orange that I was looking for, and this palette has it. This is the front of the palette. This is how it looks like, Saharan. And then this is the orange right here that I'm talking about. I just need to get me a palette like with oranges and stuff, but we're gonna work with what we got. All right, so before we start with our eyeshadow, we're gonna go ahead and prep our lids. So to prep my lids, I'm gonna go ahead and go with a concealer first, which is going to be my Tire 28 concealer. And this is in the shade, I'm assuming SB, because it doesn't have like anything else on here. So this is how it looks. I will have everything listed down below. I'm gonna have to see if that's the name of the concealer, but so far I see SB down here. And then to set my lids, I'm gonna go in with my Laura Mercier translucent powder in the shade Medium Deep, and I have this right here. All right, so as you can see, we have our right eye done already. So this is what we're gonna be doing. Don't worry about it. It looks kind of like harsh right now and stuff. So what I'm gonna do is when I, do my face and do the concealer and stuff, I'm gonna clean it up and probably clean it up some more right here and then stop it like right here, if that makes sense, because I feel like I brought it out too much. So I'm gonna clean it up once we apply our concealer, because when I do this, the smoky eye, I actually want it to be below the brow and not so much past the brow, but I have it past the brow and I don't want that right now. So I'm gonna clean it up. I can clean it up right now if I want to, but I'm gonna clean it up once we do our concealer and stuff. And we're gonna go in the first shade, which is Jamila. And then we're going to apply this shade in our creases and partial of the outer corner. So the brush that I'll be using is my NYX number 16 brush, which looks like this. It's like a fluffy brush. As you can see, let's get closer. It looks like this. Honestly, you can use any fluffy brush that looks similar to this brush, but I'll be using this brush by NYX. And a little disclaimer with this shade here, the Jamila shade, it doesn't appear that much when I first start applying it, but as I pack it on, you're gonna start seeing it a little bit. But honestly, this shade here is just to be our transition shade, and then when we start applying our orange shade and stuff, it's gonna blend in well with this eyeshadow. All right, so now we have our transition shade. Before we go ahead with the orange eyeshadow, I am going to go ahead and cut my crease, and I'm going to do that with this brush that I got from Glam by Cham. I don't think she's selling brushes anymore, because last time I went on her website, I think the website was like gone or something like that. But you can use any type of flat brush like this. I know Morphe has one. I think Real Techniques have one. I have a whole bunch of flat brushes here, so, and I will link it down below. So any brush that's flat like this that can get into your creases would be really, really good. So the concealer that I'll be using to cut my crease is my Hourglass airbrush. I think Airbrush Vanish is what this concealer is called, and this is in the shade Teak. I am using this concealer because it is, one, full coverage, and two, because it is a brighter shade, and applying it on my lids to cut my crease will allow the orange eyeshadow to pop out more, because while I was doing this eye, I was avoiding doing the cut crease method first, and then applying the orange eyeshadow was not appearing. So I'm like, you know what, let me cut my crease, and it worked. Alright, so now that we have our cut crease, because it's not like snatch or sharp or anything like that, we're going to go ahead and go in with that orange. Let me show you. So the orange that we're going to be going in to is Sakota. That's the name, which is this orange right here. And then I'm using my Sephora Pro Crease number 19 brush, which looks like this. And I am going to apply that on the areas that you see that I apply the concealer on. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pack on this eyeshadow. I'm not going to like rub it, only because of course the concealer is liquid. I don't want to like, you know, make it look patchy or anything. So packing it on first is going to be the best thing, because you're basically setting it, and then later on I'll go ahead and blend it. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and go in with another flat brush like the one that we used to cut our crease, but I'm going to use another one. This one is one that I got from Amazon. And we're going to go into Katsina, which is in the same palette, which is this like brownish, like khaki, tan type of vibe shade. And I'm going to go in right here in the inner corners. And we're going to use the same method by tapping it in. Alright, so now I'm going back in with that orange because I went too far with that tan shade. So I'm just like trying to blend it all in together so that it does not look harsh. So I just go back and forth with the brown, I mean with the tan and with the orange, just to give it a nice blend. And also to make sure that the orange pops. All right, so now, because we're gonna do what we need to do, and then we're gonna see. I'm gonna bring it in just a little bit more. The ombre effect. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and go in with our black, which is called Chad. Is that Chad? Hold on, there's some shadow. Okay, it's called Chad right here. And I'll be going in with this brush that I got from Amazon, I think. It's just like a smaller, fluffy brush, just so that I can be able to, you know, get all of my outer corner as I want. I am gonna go in, I think a few times, tap it in just so that we can get that deep effect of that black. But I'm gonna be very light with it. And also too, I'm not gonna go back in that black because we're not doing too much, you know, smoky eye, as you can see. So slightly like this. That effect. I'm lifting up my brows just so that I can get some of the crease area. So I did go back in the palette actually. I'm gonna blend all of this. All right, so I'm gonna leave it like this, and then I'm gonna go back in with that orange to blend this part out, to diffuse it. You can go back into the palette, into that orange if you don't have much on the brush, but be very gentle and light with it. And then I'm gonna go into that Jamila shade that we started off with, that other orange right here. And then I'm gonna go into my creases just to blend everything out together. All right, so as you can see, we have our eyes on. What do we think? We gotta clean it up to make sure it looks like really, really nice and pizzazz. I love it. I love it. I do. Let me know what you think. So I'm gonna go ahead and do my wing. So I'm gonna go in with my e.l.f. Expert Liner in the shade Jet Black, and I'm gonna do a slight wing. All right, so now we're moving on now that our eyes are done. Well, besides eyelashes, but we're done. So now we're gonna go ahead and prime our skin. We already did skincare. Remember, do not skip skincare because skincare is very important. It basically sets the tone for everything that's gonna come on your face, but don't skip skincare. However it looks like for you, don't skip it, okay? Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and move on to primer, which today I'll be using my Decay Yummy Skin Glow Serum, and this is in the shade Juice Boost, and it looks like this. If you watch my previous videos, you know that this is currently my favorite primer. All right, so now that our skin is prime and tacky and dry, all that good stuff, we're gonna go ahead and use foundation on our face. So today's foundation that we'll be using is the e.l.f. Soft Glam Satin Foundation, and I like to go in with both shades, which is 55 and 62. So affordable, and I love the finish, the skin-like finish. So the brush that I'll be using to apply my foundation, I'm going to be using just this brush that I got from Amazon. Again, I will link it down below. And it's like a flat top here, very dense, and it just allows the foundation to go on nice. So I'm going to use this to put my foundation on, to mix it together, and then I'll apply it on my skin. Alright, so now we have our foundation on. Now it's time to conceal. So the concealers that I'll be using today. So today's concealer, I'll be using the Morphe's latest concealer, and this is Wake Up Artist, and I'll be using the shade Clove 11.25, which looks like this and like this, for you to get an idea of the shade. And to contour, I'll be using my Rare Beauty liquid contour in the shade Peaceful, which looks like this. It's very deep. I'm gonna try to get that snatch. And then as my cream blush, I'll be using my Danessa Myricks Yummy Flush in the shade Dancing Queen, which looks like this. And the brush that I'll be using to blend my concealer is my Real Techniques number, I think this is number 402. Yes, number 402 brush, which is, this is the same brush that I had used earlier to set my lids. And to apply my contour, I'll be using this Real Techniques brush, which is the number 421, which is a slight angled brush. I love using this brush. And then for my cream blush, I'll be using this Eco Tools brush, which looks like this. I'll be using one side for the cream, and then the other side, when it's time to apply the powdered, I'll be using that side. To highlight, I'll be using my Hourglass number, I forgot the number, but I'll have it here, which number this is. But this is the shade Teak from Hourglass Concealer. This is what I had used to cut my crease earlier. So Alright, so now that we have everything on, as we can see, the base is basting with no powders yet. But before we go ahead and set our face with powder, I am going to go ahead and set my face. And I'm going to go in with my Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Set Refresh Spray. I like to do this in between my makeup, you know, just to get that grip and that set. I'm going to cover my lids just so, because we use matte shades today and I don't want it to look patchy or I have to go back in and all the extra stuff. We don't want that. So I'm going to cover my eyes while I spray. Don't forget to shake and don't forget to test the spray out. And we do not use a lot of this spray because this is a dewy finish and I'm not going for that dewy finish, just like a slight glow. And also to refresh my skin because I am dry to normal skin. So doing this also helps hydrate my skin as well. So I'm going to go ahead and spray it, cover your lids, and then make sure you have your fan to dry your skin after. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and set our highlighted areas. I'm going to use a pressed powder first, and then I'm going to go in with a loose powder. So the pressed powder that I'll be using today is my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Micro Powder in the number 3. This is the small powder, and this is how the number 3 looks. And I'm going to use a puff to apply it. But before I do that, I'm going to go back in with my Real Technique number 402 brush. And I'm going to set it again to avoid some creases. And then I'm going to go right in with the powder. So we're going to remove those creases. And then we're going to go right in with the powder. Just press it right on in. As you can see, the difference here with powder, without powder. Girl, it looks so good. I'm gonna do the other side. So now for the loose powder, I'm gonna go in with my Anastasia Beverly Hills Loose Setting Powder, and this is in the shade Golden Orange because I don't want that bright highlighted look, and this is gonna add some color to it. And also, if I want to just add some brightness to it, I can do that towards the end, you know, as a finishing touch. So I'm gonna show y'all how it looks like. I'm gonna flip my puff to the other side. I get some powder and then tap the excess behind my palm to evenly coat it. Like so. I'm gonna show you how it looks. So we press it in. I'm not baking, just pressing it in. As you can see the difference, this has more color, and this side, you know, it's like highlighted but with no color. And I like the colored part. So we're gonna do the other side same way. Alright, so before we finish up the face, I am going to go ahead and do my under eyes first. I am going to go ahead and use my liner. And the liner that I'll be using today is my Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Pencil. It's in the shade Perversion. That just added the oomph to this look. So now we're gonna go back into the palette And we're gonna go with that orange shade on the under eye. I should have got me another brush for this process, but it's okay, we're gonna make it work. So we're gonna go back into Sokoto, which is this, and we're gonna go in with that same brush. We're gonna be very gentle, because if I could have gotten a smaller brush, I would have for this part, just to make sure I get right under that eye. But I'm just gonna, you know, slightly get under it and just blend. So you're looking up and blend. All right, beauties, so now we have our lashes on and our liner, and girl, it brought the face together, and we're not even done yet. Okay, so now we're gonna move on to our finishing powder. So as always, I'm gonna go in with my Sephora Micro Smooth powder in the shade Hazelnut number 75. And I'm gonna go in with my e.l.f. buffing foundation brush, which looks like this. And I am going to apply this all over to make sure I blend everything in. All right, so now that we went ahead and powdered our face, we're gonna go ahead and bronze to add some color in and some dimension, all of that. So the bronzer that I'll be using today is my Charlotte Tilbury Air Brush Bronzer in the shade 4. I haven't used this in a minute, and this was my girl. So I'm like, okay, why not use it today? So I'm gonna be using this as my bronzer. And I'm gonna go in with this brush that I got from Amazon. It's like an angled dense brush. It has no name on it. It just says BS Mauve Face Angled. So I'm just gonna use this brush. I washed my brushes a few days ago, you guys. Please applaud me, because OMG. I am gonna hit pan. OMG, I'm seeing the light. I've had this for so long. This is that girl. I'm finally about to hit pan. So we're gonna go ahead and bronze the areas that we contour. All right, last but not least, before we move on to lips, we're gonna go ahead and blush. And the blush I'll be using is my Juvia's Place Blush Rouge Volume 5. And this is the shade range here. I was gonna use Volume 1, but I want to brighten this up, so I'm gonna stick with a brighter blush. So I'm gonna use that same brush from Eco Tools from earlier, but I'm flipping the other side. And I'm gonna go into both blushes and gently blush my face, because you know we don't want to go in too hard and then not have enough control to get rid of, you know, what I don't like. All right, so we're gonna go in gently, but we can still see that blush from Danessa is still popping, like, yeah. Okay, so we're gonna do this gently. I go with a gentle touch. Bring it in just a bit here. The girl's been doing that lately, and I've been trying it, and I love how it looks when you just bring it in right here, just right under the eyes. It looks so beautiful. So now to remove like the harshness that's going on, I like to go in with my press powder, the press setting powder, and just slightly, you know, blend it all in. I usually do this step off camera, but I'm like, why not? And just blend it all in. Voila. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and set our face. Today we're gonna be going in with our Urban Decay All Nighter Spray. And if I was going out to like seal it all in, I would use my One Size Until Dawn mattifying spray, which is this here, but we're not going out. We're not. So I'm not even gonna waste that spray, you know? I'm always getting this, and I have more, so it's okay. I only have one of those. So we're gonna stick with this. So we're gonna go ahead and use the All Nighter Spray and test it first. All right, so last but not least, we're gonna do our lips. Let me go ahead and set it. And doing it this way, setting your lips before you apply your lip products, pops out the lip for me, in my opinion. So I love setting it with that brush that I use to use my finishing powder or setting powder. All right, so to outline my lips, I'm gonna go in with my Maybelline lifter liner in the shade Cross the Line. It's almost done. We got some you know, some more to go, but I got me a new one. I did. Now we're gonna go in with our lipstick. In today's lipstick, we're gonna be using Milani Fetish lipstick, and this is in the shade Tease. All right, so now we're gonna go in with a lighter nude. I'm gonna go in, I know it's looking crazy, but we're gonna dim it down. Trying something out. So we're gonna go in with my Anastasia liquid lip gloss in the shade Guava, which looks like this. We're gonna apply it in the area where we just placed our Milani lipstick, because we're doing a gloss look. And it's just an added touch to it. And last but not least, I hope this is something new. I'm gonna go in with my Juvia's Place, the Coffee Shop lip gloss in the shade Salted Caramel, and I'm gonna apply it on the areas where I outlined my lips. All right, beauties, so this is the finishing look. Hopefully you babes love it as much as I do. I am so obsessed with this eyeshadow, this orange, the way the blush mesh with it. Chef's kiss. I am absolutely obsessed, and I know once you try it, you're gonna look so good, absolutely stunning. Just don't forget to send me your pictures or tag me so that I can come and comment on wherever you post it and hype you up, because girl, I know you're gonna eat. Okay, as I mentioned in the video, everything is listed down below in the description box. Everything that I use, everything, all the links, will be down below. So as always, thank you for watching today's video. Don't forget to comment down below anything you would love to see from me next. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And babes, I love you all as always, and I hope to see you on my next video. Bye.